Welcome to our next episode of the World's Beautiful Game podcast. As we sit one day before the U.S. men's national team takes on Belgium, I'm excited, but that's not going to be what we talk about today. Today's an episode to speak about the EPL, FA Cup, some big games, some terrible game for some of the big names. Let's just say London had a bad week this week, right, Will?
Yeah, I guess I think they probably would have preferred a better day, but they kind of looked like yeah, they look like the Champions League for the
Ah,
English teams. So
oh,
yeah,
that's sore
that's
subject
yeah.
for them.
Or like
I mean,
Colombia, or they look like Colombia did yesterday.
I mean, not, I mean, we can't really
Trampled
say
on.
much because our team is not in the Champions League, right? But as United fans, it's been several years of pain. But these English teams are definitely feeling the heat of those better clubs around the world. It's crazy to say, right? Because the best league in the world is the EPL, best league in the world at this point. I don't know if that's accurate, but definitely most competitive. But we are shifting our talk today from the international game. We're gonna go, talk about the chaos that reigns supreme with the weekend in the Premier League, and the Tyne-Wear Derby, that Sunderland Newcastle game. That's a crazy game. It was intense. I am shocked at the result a little bit because I thought Newcastle was going to have a bounce back game after that shellacking they got from Barcelona. Another that was a surprising result also as well. But yeah, those clubs in London, like I said, it was a little bit wild. I mentioned this to you before when we were kind of talking about this episode that it felt like Moussa Dembele was back as coach for Chelsea, because that's what Liam Mousinho looks like, trying to get back at them as a Chelsea rival, which is hilarious to me because he kind of really does look like him. That
Well,
guy
it
was
is.
that guy was really good, but
He's done
yeah,
his best to represent
Tottenham.
Tottenham
Oh
instead
yeah,
of Chelsea,
absolutely. It's
because
kind of hilarious, and obviously let's not forget about the mighty Arsenal, who had a interesting final against City. But we'll talk about that a little. That'll be kind of to the end of the episode. But there goes their chance at that quadruple that all those Arsenal TV fans like to talk about. Let's not misconstrue, by the way, that my talk about Arsenal is not me wanting City to win, because that is the worst thing in the world. I want both of those teams to lose and not win anything. But at this point, the conversation around Arsenal fans and how much they think that this is the best team to ever exist since sliced bread. But we'll talk about all that. So let's get started. I know, Will, you watched way more of the games than I did. I tried to get the recap of some of them. It was a crazy week. I know the one thing I did want to mention was that I am getting my ass handed to me in Premier League fantasy. I had a good start, and now I'm like way behind. It's close in our league. We actually have a pretty competitive league. Have you seen where we're at compared to like other leagues? Like our group of people, if you look at where we're at, we're actually pretty decent. So
yeah, I mean, I've done my best to come back because I was pretty much in last place, so I've been climbing steadily. So it looks like I finally made some changes that have helped me out and yeah, keep me from being the bottom of the run. So definitely don't want to be the loser of losers.
I'm
So
just glad we don't have a last place punishment like some people do.
Like a
Yeah,
Shiva
no,
Bowl.
I don't
Yeah,
want nothing to do
yeah,
with that. I'm okay. If I lose money, I lose money. I'm trying to get into those top three spots to get some money back. So it's been
that'd
a
be
rough
nice.
go the last like 2 months for me. I haven't won a single week in the last couple. I had some close ones, but that's about.
Yeah, so I mean, those definitely make choices which make it hard for you to kind of sometimes cheer against teams that you don't like, but that's the nature of the beast.
I will say, finally though, the Man United choices I have are actually giving me points. And we'll segue that into the first game of the weekend, which was on that Friday, where United got robbed, I want to say. And I know it's kind of touchy, but the Maguire was a penalty. I am not going to ever say that that's not a pen, but if you call that one, you got to call the other one, and they didn't give us that opportunity to have the same spot. I thought I saw that the ref for that game kind of got a fine suspension, but it kind of sucks now after the fact because 2 points lost for us. We got a point, which is great, but still, we're trying to stay ahead in that Champions League spot. So I think the result would have been better with the other 2 points. A point's still good, but what do you think?
Yeah, it was a good game. I think United was attacking well, and I think they even before the PK, it took I think a little too long to for them to score because they were attacking a good amount, and they probably should have tried to pressure a little more, or at least take a couple of more shots to get ahead of the game sooner, and that would have helped them. But yeah, that no mod PK, which then led to the goal. It wasn't even so much that they didn't call the PK, but then that right then around.
The FIFA effect.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think as professionals, either ways, everybody stops because they want the call. But until the ref blows the whistle, and they obviously are professionals and know what they're doing, so the fact that they stop to wait for a call is, I think, part of just today's game's issue that they just want they're gonna wait and then expect a call because to them it was a clear penalty. But at the end of the day, again, until you hear the whistle, you don't stop, and that clearly led to the penalty for them to score, for Bournemouth to come back, and then yeah, we got what we got. Towards the end, obviously, Maguire celebrating like crazy the own goal, which wasn't his goal, but hey, I mean, obviously he was closest to it.
I think, yeah,
Yeah.
he's just like, it's a
Hey,
goal.
whatever,
It don't
man.
matter.
Hey, it is what it is. And then yeah, that it was a dumb PK. I think he's a very experienced, obviously, center back. He's been through a lot, and he's a quality center back. Everybody gave him a lot of shit for it, but he ultimately he's solid and definitely he's needed. But that was a very dumb PK with for his experience. Do I think it was a red? I don't think so. I think it was a yellow, but
It
either
is.
ways,
He did deny a goal. It's not that the foul wasn't a red. The foul
denying goal
wasn't a red.
scoring.
He just denied the goal scoring opportunity. So that's why it's a red, and that's fine. Again, I understand. Like, I get it. We've gotten that call before. It makes sense in that situation. I just don't understand how if you go to VAR because the VAR checks every goal like that initiated from the foul on the other side of the field. It was pretty quick. It's not like they had to go back and check 10 minutes to see for a foul. So I think that's the only thing that kind of got me, but whatever, we move on. Um, Speaking of that, and then, we move on to the next game, Liverpool, uh,
Brighton,
the Liverpool Brighton one. I loved seeing the result, not just because Liverpool lost, but Danny Welbeck
seeing a
with two
United boy,
goals.
yeah,
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 he
puts him
coming.
at 12 goals
My,
for the league.
my man needs to get called up to be England striker beside Harry Kane. Man, like, he looks so like it. It's incredible to me because he's not even. I think he's in like his
35,
yeah.
30,
Is it
35,
30,
36,
35?
somewhere around there, yeah.
But because he's been injured so much, it feels like he's kind of refreshed and he has that like that fresh legs still kind of. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's what it feels like with him
Oh,
when he
12
gets a chance
goals,
to play.
12 goals in the season is not bad, and I know I mean, he's a United killer because he always scores against
Oh,
us,
I
even
know.
as a former United boy. I mean, United Academy and everything. So I think it was always a mistake to let him go because he's still in the league, and we have somebody growing, but the experience that he has and he's gained, and obviously in the league, and look at him, he's obviously for Brighton scored. I mean, and Brighton, obviously, they from the season before, or since they sold Cucurella, when all those guys were around there, and they sold their guys, they're tough to keep up.
That's
But
but if that's been United in the last what 5 6 years. Like, we just because of all the craziness, we keep selling players that probably we shouldn't sell. I think the one thing that I've found with some of this is that we're gonna go into a season next year that if we are in Champions League, we're not deep at all. Like, I think we have two players off the bench, possibly three. And then what? I think they say they're offering Maguire an extension, and Casemiro. It looks like they're offering him an extension for a year. But still, anyway, common theme for United, right? To lose out or to get rid of players that maybe would have still had an impact on the team. But Welbeck's been gone for a while, so I don't know about that one. But still, happy to see Liverpool lose. Champions coming off a season where Slot, I don't know how he's not fired yet. He's getting so much leeway. I think at this point, are they still? They're still in Champions League, correct? It's them and Arsenal. Liverpool and Arsenal are the last two left from the English Premier League in Champions League.
yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure
yeah,
because
yeah, because they beat Galatasaray.
Arsenal has Sporting, and then Liverpool has who do they have? I don't know. I gotta look. But anyway, those are the last two standing for Premier League that are in the Champions League, and it's we assume that they would have 5 for Champions League next year based on how it went, but we will see how that goes next year after the results of last week. For me, pissed off about Katike. I had him on my fantasy, went down after 8 minutes, and now he's scoring goals for France. He had a dead leg. Dead fucking leg is why he came off the game. Like,
That's
come
because
on, bro.
he's trying to make his case to play for the France national team for the World Cup. Obviously, now they played
That was
against
my captain's pick,
they
bro.
they played against Brazil and they took care of
Freaking
business.
wasted
So
my damn
I guess he
captain's
wasn't
pick.
dumb. I mean, but it wasn't even well. Obviously, he obviously came off early, but for one,
8 minutes.
Liverpool with the terrible defensive pass to lead to that goal.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that was just dumb. And then just Welbeck, and then I don't know if you saw Gomez's. He had a free kick that was, that was almost quality, but I mean that would have just pushed him down even more. But a 2-1 score against Liverpool, hey, our rivals, I'll take it. So
I mean, it just keeps them further away from us in
yeah,
that Champions League spot. So I'm happy
finally
with that.
getting back to being able to compete. So
Yeah, and
hey, we'll
then
take it.
we'll move on to the one of the London games where Everton beat the shit out of Chelsea 3-0. Incredible. I will just preface this. David Moyes with Everton, that connection, what he does with, but they don't have.
No, I understand. I mean, I'm not taking away from them, but Chelsea beat themselves. Sanchez was
Well, this is your favorite topic, so I'll let you go off on that
Yeah,
one.
Sanchez he just looks like Victor Valdez pre-Premier League. He looks like Dita Butterfingers. He just looked lost. He just didn't know what he was doing. And on the other side, you have Pickford making saves of the season, which is just making him look even more embarrassing. It's just terrible decisions by Sanchez. And the problem as a goalkeeper is okay, you make a mistake and it's a goal because obviously you can't, everybody else in the field can make a mistake and it's okay. But a goalkeeper makes a mistake and it's a goal. And the problem with goalkeepers, especially when you're at this level, you got to shake it off. Like he makes the first mistake and then it's like it's in his head and he won't let it go and then he makes another mistake and it's just
I do
absolutely
think with him specifically though, he's had a weird last few weeks because he got kind of pulled out. He didn't play in the Champions League, then he came back and I hear you. I mean, I as a professional, I would imagine that they should always they got to be prepared for the worst
mentally,
and
yeah.
just always be ready. But you got to think some of that comes into play, right? Mentally, like as a goal, you play goalie. It kind of sucks when you get benched and you don't play, and then you're asked to come back and you're still trying to shake off whatever that was. So
See, but no, for me as a goalkeeper, that's the thing that when you come on after you've been benched, when you come on, you can't think about it because the difference is a defender could come on and play bad. He'll get another chance because if a defender goes down,
that's
cool.
fair.
It's midfielder, a forward, there's always opportunity. A goalkeeper, for him to get hurt is a rare opportunity. So if you come back to pretty much show what you got and show that you are the starter, and then you can't do that, then that's not good. You have to be the mentally strongest person on that field because again, you make a mistake, they blame it on you. If you let's say again there's a breakaway and you're gonna try to pretty much put the forward through, but you throw it bad or something, then they can be like, oh, the goalkeeper can. Any little thing that a goalkeeper does is I feel 10 times worse because they're gonna look at you.
Kepa?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Kepa got rid of. So I think it's just
That's
look
a
at Onana. I
segue
mean,
to
just look
Arsenal at
at
the end, by the way.
just look at Onana at the end of the day. Obviously, look at any mistake he has, and obviously, and everybody's gonna talk about him for the rest of their life. We could talk, pretty much De Gea has been forgotten about because he's obviously pretty much one of our greats in the sense that nobody talks about him anymore because the last guy you want to talk about is Onana because of how terrible he was
Well,
and
he's
how
also
now we've
playing in
gotten
the
a decent.
Italian league, which is,
Well, but what I mean to say is obviously we got a good goalkeeper now, but the other one was so bad and he made any mistake he'd make is obviously it makes your defense shaky. They have no confidence, and then at that point they can't play progressively and confidently forward. So that's why to me it's very important for Chelsea that he picks it up because at the end of the day, if he's going to be shaky, then the defense is going to feel like they have to do extra work, and then that's just going to change the whole chemistry of the team and ultimately they're not going to flow as well.
fun fact, I had Sanchez at the beginning of the season in my fantasy team, and
I
after
think I
like
did too.
6 games, I was like, I think I'm going to change it now.
Yeah.
Hell of a change that I made. I
Yeah.
got Dean
So,
Henderson after that. So I mean, he's been
yeah.
shaky too, but I've kind of been swapping out between him and Brighton's keeper.
But yeah,
That's
just I
worse.
mean, before we switch off, but yeah, Beto had definitely a quality game, and so did Pickford, making beautiful saves again. So on the other end, good goalkeeping. Pickford just likes to make highlight reels. So
And that's
that's
why
pretty
that's
cool.
why he has no challenge in the national team. That's why Pickford is always the number one, right? Because who like besides Dean Henderson maybe, but even then, like he's the one that like he steps up. He looks good when he
Pope,
plays.
but I think Pope was hurt again. So I mean,
Yeah,
he plays pretty solid, and he gets hurt. So
yeah. I think he's had some bad games though. Like even and that technically that defense for Newcastle's solid. So I don't like when he's back there, he still makes mistakes. So I
yeah, no,
feel
I
like
mean, Pickford's definitely the
Pickford has always
go-to,
been
and
clear,
yeah, yeah.
which is crazy because there's so many English keepers, I think, at this point, but
Uh,
interesting. All right, so we'll move
yeah.
on to the next one. I think the Villa West Ham is where we have a 2-0.
hmm
Villa
Another
keeping pace with yes, another London club going down.
No, another United
Oh,
team, another United player actually playing well. It just pisses me off. But anyways, I digress.
who Central?
Sancho had an assist. Yes.
I mean, but he's very spotty. That's no big deal. But I thought it was interesting though. West Ham's been having a quite a like because they're in the relegation battle. They've turned it around and really having some decent games. I know that at some point they gave United a game, and they've been getting results. So interesting. Villa needed the results because obviously they're chasing United now for third, or at least to stay in that Champions League spot because those this is at 3 or 4 spots that are like it's points of 3, 4, 5, 6 points apart. So how did you see Villa play that game out?
Um, Pretty much Villa attacked a lot that whole game, so I feel like they were pretty much pushing it. They looked like the better team the whole game. Um, the pretty much they even had a PK. It was called off, so that was there. Yeah, I just felt like pretty much overall it wasn't as close as I thought it was going to be because Villa was just bringing it to them. So West Ham, I think, could have had a better game. They just didn't look their best. So
Yeah, I mean
it happens.
it sucks for them because they're in that relegation battle and they need the points bad. So that was a tough loss for again another London team. And then next up, probably the the team that's having the worst luck. Is they've been piling on from last season to now. Tottenham just losing badly to Nottingham Forest. Is this the game that Gibbs White had that golazo, or am I thinking of a different game?
No, no, it's just pretty much the Spurs are just disbanded. I mean, Nottingham just kind of put on a clinic on them. Um,
This was a bad one
but
too because Nottingham Forest just leapfrogged Tottenham for those
yeah,
spots in the bottom, which is I still can't believe that they look they just I just saw that they're gonna get rid of Igor and some other guys coming in whose name is almost like the World War II bad guy. I don't know if you've seen that, but they were talking about how that's going to be a very interesting for the commentators to talk about when they talk about his Aduf.
oh,
It's interesting.
yeah, take
Anyway,
a look at that. I didn't realize that.
yeah, I just saw that
Yeah.
yesterday. I was like,
Again, shout out to the keepers again because Sells was denying Tottenham left and right, so he
Sells is a
had a great
backup for
game.
Belgium, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
he had
yeah.
a great
You
game.
think does he start or Senny Lemon start? You think for Belgium against the U.S. tomorrow?
I think Lemon starts
Sells pretty
pretty
good.
much. Yeah, they want to see. I guess Lemon's has had the hot hand of the season, so I think he starts. But I think it'll be up for
Was
debate.
was
But I
was
mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't make a difference because
Was Lemons a starter prior
Courtois,
to his being
it
at
doesn't
United?
matter. Courtois is going to be the starter. So
Oh, I forgot that he wasn't there because he was injured. That's why I was thinking
yeah,
about.
he's back, and
Okay,
it's
back
just
number.
pretty much testing him out. Those will be the three keepers in my mind, but it's going to be Courtois. So
Okay,
which
yeah, my bad. Never mind. Yeah, he's
pretty
not going to see
much
the light of day there.
nope.
Cool. All right.
Yep.
This
That's
is
Tottenham. There's not really much to talk about because
no, it's really not. It's just embarrassing and sad to be honest at this point. And what did I have here next? Oh yeah,
I had the
the
rivalry.
the which one? Remind me again because I think I lost it here. The thing I have
Actually, I
less
don't think.
is the final to talk
Oh
about
no, yeah.
between Arsenal and City.
No, no, we gotta give a shout out to Newcastle versus Sunderland because that's a rivalry
Well, that's
there.
the one that I meant to talk about.
And
Yes,
yeah,
that game
yeah.
was
So
intense. I was actually listening to The podcast with Alan Smith, not Alan Smith. Oh my god, with Michael Richards, Gary Lineker, and Alan Shearer. Wow. Anyway, so he was, because he's obviously a big Newcastle guy, and he was so upset. He's like, I can't believe they played like shit.
Hey,
like
Lewis Hall put in a quality service in the whole game I was watching. And he was on point. Um, but yeah, the dumb offside goal for Newcastle, that was just a dumb goal too. They just made a couple little mistakes, and Sunderland was just on top of them.
Are you surprised that they had a game like they did after what happened against Barcelona at home? I mean, my assumption was they were going to come back and just pummel the next team, because you would think you would come back with a vengeance, wanting to kind of after what happened.
So that's usually what you think is going to happen, but then you forget that these other teams also say, "Hey, we just saw them get a beat down, so we're going to take advantage and we're gonna attack them early and kind of get them off of their game and keep them mentally out of it." And I think that's what Sunderland did, because Sunderland, they just looked good. They looked good enough.
I mean,
Um,
Sunderland's been surprising this season, coming up and staying to me, the only team that's kind of been struggling bad and is probably not going to get out of that bottom is going to be Leeds. I think Leeds is going to have a hard time. They haven't gotten results. They can't figure it out. I feel bad because I like their coach, and obviously I like the Aronson plays there too, but they are they can't score goals, man. Like, I think I saw like the last 8 games. I think that's a stat, and if I'm wrong,
0-0.
sorry.
Yeah, I
They
watched.
just
No, I watched the highlights. Yeah, it's a 0-0 game. It was quiet. There wasn't really much. There wasn't. I mean, just from both Brentford and Leeds, they were both quiet. They were just kind of playing,
but
holding
Brentford,
hands.
yeah, but Brentford is surprising because they've been really good this season. Also,
Yeah, but they just held
they're,
hands the
they're
whole
mid
game, and
table.
just, it
Well,
was
I
boring.
I
Like,
think I think it's hard. Well, let me not say that.
But
I
for
think
me, again, if you're
Brentford
getting
is
relegated,
interesting because they're in the middle, so they don't care. But Leeds needs to do more. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So at this point, you need to be more aggressive. You need to go
Like,
ahead,
you
go
shouldn't
for it.
even
What are
worry
you gonna
about
do?
losing because you need to just get points. Yeah, so
Yeah,
go
let's see.
for it. Yeah,
Table.
you
Yeah, at
can't
this point.
can't get points if you don't score, right? Or
Leeds is in 15, so they're still not in
but it's
relegation battle.
close. It's close there.
Spurs are closer in a relegation battle. They're in 17th place, so a point off from 18th. So Spurs are actually I mean, Brentford's in seventh, so they're a much higher place. So
That's
for
why.
the fact that Leeds held them off to
But
to
that's been
zero
Leeds.
zero, but
That's been Leeds all season. Leeds all season
yeah,
has literally, like, they've had games where they're in it and then they just fuck it up at the end. And then there's games where I think they've had a lead and they gave it up. And they've shot themselves in the foot. Uh, I think they still need like quite a bit of points in these last 7 games to stay up, because I think like the safe zone is like 42 points or some weird number, where it's like guaranteed that you stay up. But they are a surprising one to me. But let's see. I love the end of the season because this is when like thing gets things get
that's
really
when
heated in
it's
the Premier League.
yeah,
Like the bottom teams, like Wolves is like just messing with everyone, which is
yeah.
hilarious. So
That's when it's bad time to bet
so when you
because
look at the schedules, it's hilarious to me because like none of the games don't matter. They all matter. Even for Arsenal, like Arsenal, I looked at their schedule. I think the hardest game they have is City. That's the big one for them. And if they win out all the other ones and still lose to City, they can still win the league, no problem. But it's if those, I think they don't even have games. They have one or two, I think, against one of the bottom teams, and then the rest are all like mid-table teams. So it's like,
but it's probably worse to play against the bottom teams because the bottom teams will
oh,
be
I
fighting out
know.
of their lives. So especially towards the end, there's 30. Well, City has a game in hand, so actually City, if they win, they're only 6 points behind, which is
And
only
then if
obviously
they
two
beat
games.
them in
So
that game,
yeah,
that's three
that's
points
three
behind.
points, and that's
And
all.
then
Yeah,
it's if Arsenal drop
and then
points,
it's
then but
Arsenal being
still
Arsenal.
Arsenal's to
Yeah,
lose, right? Arsenal
yeah,
has
yeah.
they
Just like the last.
control all of it. So
So
I have called
yeah,
it though. I said, but November, I started saying that they're already started to bottle the season.
yeah.
Um, and then they still FA Cup. I think they're in the semifinal, but they have the easiest draw. They have Port Vale, right? I believe so. Easy should get to the final, no problem. But is that City still in that one, or did they get knocked out of that one? I
I
can't
haven't been
remember.
keeping.
Anyway, if they
I haven't
see,
been watching the cups.
I don't think City's in that one. I think they're out also. But so that's almost a guarantee for them if they can hold off. But at this point, they're still in Champions League. They're still in the FA Cup, and they're still bad in the Premier League. They need to get all the results. Do you think they fall? It's a lot because I think they're one injury away. They're Declan Rice or Gabriel injury away from losing all of it. Like that's how bad their season is on the line to me.
Well, they
And
have
it's not like I don't even say this from a hate perspective, like just some real shit. They're one bad injury away because when they lost Soccer for a while, he hasn't come back. Like he's playing, but he's been mediocre. Like and without goals and without that guy in the middle, or those two guys in the middle to really protect you, they're going to have a hard time if that happens in these next 7 games. The international break is going to be interesting because Declan Rice is going to play for England. Gabriel is going to play for Brazil. What happens between now and the end of the season, do you think, for Arsenal?
I mean, right now, yeah, they got Southampton. That's who they got in the FA Cup.
Southampton, sorry. Port Vale's
Yeah, so yeah, that's Chelsea. So Chelsea's got the easy one. Well, I don't want to say easy because again, you never know those teams. Hopefully, hey, hopefully they show up. But I don't think they win all three. I don't think they win three. They're definitely not getting a treble. It's not the treble, but they're not getting a treble. Um, I don't see them winning Champions League. That's going to be too tough. Honestly, their biggest focus should be the Premier League. It's been too long for them to not win the Premier League. So I think realistically, I don't think they have a Champions League shot to win. Um, so I would say obviously focus on the FA Cup and at least I think they win two of what they got their last three. I just don't the Champions League. I just don't see again English teams being strong. I mean, Liverpool left and Arsenal left. I don't see them um, winning it. But obviously, things could change. That's just me. I feel like Arsenal doesn't win it. Yeah, if they do get a major injury from one of their main players.
Do you think they have the squad depth? Do you think they have enough? To That's 3 competitions that they're going to be playing games for back to back to back. Every week is 2 games for them.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I don't see them winning three. I could see them winning two at most. But even the FA Cup is going to be tough because the teams that are going to go in it, they're going to fight because it's pretty much their only opportunity to win anything. The teams that are left. So,
Who's left? Did you look?
yeah, I just saw it. Just
So
changed
City,
it up, but
Liverpool,
yeah.
Chelsea,
So
Port Vale, West Ham,
yeah,
Leeds. That
West
doesn't
Ham
matter.
Leeds. Yeah. So
So City and Liverpool still in it too. So yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
those two. I mean, out of there, I think that's the winner of the FA Cup right
and you
there.
know what's incredible about that is you're talking about teams that need trophies. Liverpool needs something to be successful from. So they're not going to win the league. They're champion. They're trying to get up to a Champions League spot. So they're going to want to win that trophy, right? They want the FA Cup. City, who knows? But it's a good opportunity if they wind up in the final against Arsenal to do some more damage. You
Get
know what I
something
mean?
back. Yeah.
Like the
So
second, like they were talking about this a little bit. We were talking about it on our group chat too, a little bit. How much do you think there's any play of like mentality, psyche, losing the City that final, and then they have to play them again in a big game in the league, possibly seeing them again in the FA Cup? Does it? You think any of that actually is going to play a part in what happens with them?
yeah, I mean, if they see that City are pretty much going to, if they make it through, then I think it's definitely going to be in their head. Obviously, that they're gonna naturally try to approach it, figure out tactically what to do. Obviously, Arteta versus Pep, so it's going to be a showdown and see who kind of at this point. And City have nothing to lose, so the only thing that they can do is deflate them. I don't know if they play well. Obviously, the FA Cup, they're going to play, and if they make it through, then at this point, before I don't know if they were to, but it'd be the final. So I don't think they see them in the Premier League before the final of the FA Cup. So if they beat them during the league, then if they do see them
I
for
believe
the FA Cup final, if they both make it through, those are the two sides because I think they're on the opposite
so.
side. So it would be
I believe what happens is the FA Cup final would be, if they both make it, would be towards the end of the league season. So I think
yeah,
they would play the game in the league first, and then they would play the final.
exactly. So
Yeah, so that's
yeah.
how.
So I mean, either way, if they play them in the league, they're going to play in the league first, and they beat them, then that just kind of gives them an even a bigger advantage for the FA Cup final. And then at this point, now Arsenal's pretty much kind of now I would say they're really nervous and they're pretty much going to say, hey, we got to figure it out. We got to see how we can beat them, how we can shake this off. And at this point, mentally, yes, do they get nervous enough? I think at this point, Arsenal finally have players with the experience and enough time because what a couple seasons ago, not too long ago, they had a massive lead again and they imploded, but I believe the players were a lot younger and they just probably got nervous and they didn't have the capability to pretty much to kind of push through till the end. But now the same guys, pretty much, the team hasn't changed too much. So I think they have enough experience to be able to hold out and finally win the league. So I think they win the league, even barring serious injury. Now, like you said, the depth between all those games and how they're going to
It's a
rotate
lot.
it.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I don't think they've never been in this position. I don't think because I think even last season, when they were in this run, I think they were already out of Champions League, so I don't think it mattered. Um, Maybe FA Cup, I believe, but they didn't get that either. So it's interesting to me. I don't. It's funny. It's funny because of their fans. Really, is what it comes
Yeah,
down to.
that's
Sad a little bit because they need a trophy. It's at this point it's sad. Like United's gotten more trophies than them in this time, and we've been terrible.
their
Which is
fans are as
crazy.
delusional as I'm sorry to say it, England fans, but as you guys because it's always coming home, and we've been waiting for it to come home at any
Hey,
type
we
of
got to
time.
start this coming home chant.
Yeah,
Starting
yeah,
tomorrow,
because
so
yes,
77 days to
yes.
the World Cup. It's crazy. One other question. I have two questions, but let's see. I don't know if you
I
want to
did
answer.
want to before also shout out because there's last game that was we didn't talk about was Burnley Fulham. I did watch that, which was a back and forth game, which Fulham 3-1. Um, Again, goalkeepers had looked like the Leno had quality saves in that game. Um, and I don't know if you saw the PK for Jimenez, his weird PK that
I don't even want to go there. So
just mentioned it,
I
but
have such a problem with that run up. I don't understand how it's legal because
yeah,
they all stop. They
yeah,
never
go
have forward
forward and
momentum.
stop.
Like it makes no sense to Neymar
Yeah,
does
because if
it.
it says
He does
forward
it.
momentum, I mean a hop is still not backwards momentum, and it's still
But to me it
momentum in the
looks like they
sense.
stop. Like they
Yeah,
do the
but
little like
technically, I guess the hop, yeah,
like it's
but
so weird.
forward,
I'm
back,
okay with the
that
hop
helps you.
because the hop there's in motion. Like you
Yeah,
don't stop,
exactly.
right?
But
But
forward, back is
but
not forward momentum,
yeah, but
so
when the
I
like
don't
you
understand.
when you go, you do a little hezzy and like it
Yeah,
looks like you stop and like I don't that's bullshit.
yeah.
Anyway,
So, but
I
that
can't
was that
stand that.
game. Fulham
And
3-1.
I'll give him a pass because he's mourning his dad who passed away a week ago. So whatever. Anyway, I like
That's
Fulham. We've always liked Fulham because Dempsey and hey,
prestige.
everybody
Yeah.
watch out that Deuce documentary on Paramount. I need to watch it. I know it's coming up. I don't think it's out yet, but I am looking forward to that one.
There's a Ronaldinho one coming out too, so
Oh, I gotta watch that too.
it's my goat.
So two questions. My first one is if they don't win a trophy this year, is Arteta in trouble? Because that's crazy. Bottle another year, no trophies if they wind up in that because like they're in
Arsene Wenger.
serious risk of losing all of it. Like yeah, but at what point? Yeah, but Arsene Wenger built Arsenal, right? He made them money. Arteta's not making them money. He's buying players expensively and building what?
I mean, at this point, there's you don't the
Have a base,
the
sure.
loyalty to managers. I don't think is there anymore. I mean, I think they've given
Well,
him more than
that's
enough
why I'm asking the
opportunities.
question.
Unless he becomes the next Simeone. Simeone's been coaching
But he's won
Atletico
a
for
league. But
45
he's won a
years.
league
Yeah, but again, in his 60
against
years of coaching,
yeah. But he's fighting Real Madrid and Barcelona every season. Like
yeah. But okay, but either ways, I mean, he's still okay, and Arteta's fighting City. I mean, City, Chelsea when they're not doing whatever the hell they are doing now. Can't even say United because United in the last few years haven't been well. But there's been teams, Brentford and Nottingham Forest that have been pretty much up there. So Arsenal have been fighting a pretty strong league all around. But yeah,
so, you don't think he's in trouble even if he doesn't get anything?
I think if he doesn't win a single trophy, FA Cup, I think you'd have to be in trouble because at this point you got three opportunities to win something. If you win something, at least the owners can be like, all right, we'll hang on to this.
The reason I say it is because Luis Enrique, I know he has a year left in his contract, and everybody's talking about him. He doesn't seem to want to stay at PSG. Like that's I think if anyone's going to go for a manager like that is Arsenal, because Arsenal needs a coach that will get those players to win. Like he can get those players to win, right? That's just my
I
thought.
mean, personally for me, I would have gotten rid of him already because how many seasons has it been already?
This is going to be they've already bottled 3 seasons,
How
and this
long
will be
has he
the
been with the
fourth.
team?
Like 6 years, 7 years now. It's been a
Exactly.
while,
So
yeah.
at this
Since
point,
he
the
left City.
rebuild, there's no more rebuild. So you're way beyond 6 years is way beyond rebuilding because they're not rebuilding. They already have a team and they just keep adding options. So I personally say I think
And
it's time.
I have one more question, and it's related to Arsenal, and that's why I'm asking. But I'm glad that you think. They think he's a god, and I'm like, you need something, right? Like you have to.
At this point, yeah, there's no more excuses to be like, well, we're building, we're waiting. No, you're one of the top teams in the league, so you're not showing that because you have nothing
Shout
to
out
show
to
for it.
our Arsenal friends in our group chat who are delusional still as well. Um, quietly
Yeah.
delusional. They won't say. I mean, they're not like the Arsenal TV fans, but
Last season it was worse. Well, we had I
yeah,
won't name
they're
one of
quiet.
our bros, but
The
he
CNC.
was loud.
You talking about the CNC?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, yeah, he was very loud about saying he's like that's it, they're winning the league, and he was very loud about it like halfway I think through the season, and then slowly just we're still winning, and then
Mm-hmm.
you know
So the one last
we'll
question
shout
I
about it
have,
later
and
on.
it has Arsenal ties to is just what do you think about their style of play, right? Um, that they're winning games, and that's the most important thing. And I think if anyone was a fan of that team, that we're not talking about Arsenal, it's just the team that's winning in the way that they do. As a neutral, you hate it because they don't play nice soccer or football. And then as an opponent to them, like it's so annoying to watch that be what beats you. Like just, and I'm not even gonna go WWE wrestling. Like it's just like ugly and just like everything and anything but soccer.
I mean,
they're
to
not scoring goals like in a way that you learn to play the game, right? Like you have this idea of what the game
but
is.
well, we pretty much gotta brush off what the game used to be and how it used to be played because remember, there's no more beautiful football. The beautiful game is gone. Now it's just more, again, like super tactic, play it super simple, no creativity, no danger, no pushing the envelope to see. There's no one-on-ones. There's no volleys. There's barely, anything, there's no art in it anymore. Now it's pure just tactics and who's can out tactic who, play it simple, don't play anything special. The last, Neymar to me was probably the last
Oh, I gotta ask a
beautifully,
question. Oh,
beautifully gifted player
you're
that.
teeing me up for a great question, by the way.
So I just want to say like that's there's players that have the skill. Vinicius
So
has it, but he doesn't do it.
does it matter that they're winning the way they're winning? Like
Unfortunately, at the end of the day, it's the result. It doesn't matter if it looks pretty or not, right?
for a
So
business,
that's
yeah, I get that.
for exactly if you want the wins, or people have gotten used to over the last year. So at this point, we got to stop. We kind of got to, we're like those old heads now. It's like we got to get rid of the past and stop thinking about it because, Ronaldinho's gone.
Don't call me old, bro.
All
Don't
those,
call me old.
all those guys that we grew up watching that used to, Wayne Rooney's, bicycle kick. Obviously, we saw Garnacho not too long ago, and we saw a few of them do it.
Please don't mention that name.
Yes,
It's
I know,
terrible.
but we've seen a few here and there, but there's no more. Um,
I'm
you know,
glad you brought up Wayne Rooney and Neymar. I know you saw that question get asked to Wayne Rooney.
between who? Well, yeah,
He
and I
said,
think yeah.
"I don't rate Neymar," is what
Well,
Rooney said.
I think that's excessive. I definitely rate Neymar. Neymar is the prince who never became king because he absolutely.
Took a
And
back
if you
seat.
watch his clips, no, not just that took a back seat, but if you watch him and if you watched him play and then you watch his clips from Santos going all the way up, he was just his brilliant mind, beautifully play. He was absolutely everything that you wanted. He was the next Ronaldinho, but just Brazilians, they love to party. They love that football isn't a priority for them. Partying is, and then they're just naturally gifted and they're good. And he just never wanted to take that throne because he should have easily been. He would have been better than Rooney, but I don't think he is. Uh,
Who do you think is
I
better,
wouldn't
Rooney or
say
Neymar?
I wouldn't say I can. I wouldn't say that he's not rateable because he absolutely is, but I take Rooney because of the longevity, because of what he did, his accolades, and everything that
Who
Rooney
was better
actually.
in soccer, like soccer wise? Who was better at their position? Because Rooney,
Yeah, Rooney. Well, yeah, because different positions, but Rooney was
all
clinical.
around the better player,
Rooney was
all
when
over the
yeah,
field is
when
Rooney.
you needed
But the
him.
the better soccer player is Neymar. Let's be clear. Like we're United
Well,
fans, but Neymar is definitely a better player than
as
Rooney.
far as technically gifted, absolutely, because Rooney didn't need to do what he did, but the work ethic, the pretty much
Yeah, I mean that's
the mentality.
it's
But
the
remember,
Messi
Rooney
Ronaldo
didn't give
it's
up.
the Messi Ronaldo conversation, right?
No, 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 two different, completely
But no, but
different.
you're
Because
talking
the
about
difference is
hard work
yes, hard work,
and
and
just
then
talent.
natural. No, but the difference is um Rooney he worked hard naturally, but he had the talent too. As far as
Yeah,
a
he
goal
has both.
scorer,
I will give
as
you
a
that.
goal scorer, he I
I
would
love
pretty much
I love Rooney.
no,
I
I
just
know
thought that
I'm
was a
saying,
really
but I
strange
don't think
conversation.
yeah I don't think like again you can't rate them side by side because obviously different
Different
positions.
players, yeah.
But yeah, Neymar absolutely technically
I
and
was just
gifted and the vision because he was a goal scorer and he had it is just again he didn't have the longevity and then he went to
well, it's the
PSG. He
Ronaldinho
left.
conversation, right? It's the Ronaldinho conversation.
No,
Just Neymar didn't win a World
Ronaldinho.
Cup.
Yeah, no, Ronaldinho
But
was. I
if
think.
Neymar would have won a World Cup, what do you think the conversation would have been the same?
I just think what Ronaldinho brought to the table is what all these guys took. Again, Neymar,
That's fair. That's
they
fair.
learned. So I think even though obviously like you have Pele, you have all these guys that you can talk about. I think Ronaldinho changed the game so much, and to me he is the greatest player of all time. I will pick him above Messi, above Pele, above
I mean,
Maradona,
I get that. Yeah.
because I know they're like, oh well, he didn't do it long enough. I don't care.
I mean that
He changed,
I feel the same
to
way
me,
about
he
Ronaldo.
changed the game. Yeah, Ronaldo
Ronaldo.
Nazario.
I
Yeah,
mean, I don't Ronaldo. He's Ronaldo. Like
yeah,
I hate
yeah,
that conversation because one's Cristiano and the other one's Ronaldo. Like
yeah.
I know the new age. This is their Ronaldo, but that's the Ronaldo to me. And we have this conversation all the time. Like my top five. Like obviously stats play kind of a vital role. Who's your top five if you had to pick? And it's not to compare them to one another. Just
No,
in
yeah. I
terms
mean,
of
if
like
I just
the
my top
in
five,
top
yeah,
five. Yeah, what's your top five?
yeah. My top five: Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Messi, Cristiano, and my fifth would have to be Zidane.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
It's
If
hard.
I just
I try
spitball,
to
just straight shot.
I try to think about I try to look back a little bit, and I think just I'm thinking about Ronaldo for me is number one, Brazil Ronaldo, Messi number two, Cristiano Ronaldo number three. That's my top three, and then I put Neymar four, um, and then five is a hard one for me because I want to pick Rooney, right? Rooney, because you got to
I
think
mean,
about
it's your
winning.
favorite. It's your
No,
favorite.
no,
So I mean,
I know, but think about winning. But then I also have to think about the rest of the world, and Zidane's a good shout, and I kind of have to look back too, and I got to go Maradona after. Like
mhm.
I think that would be my top five. Like you have to.
So you don't rate Ronaldinho. You rate Neymar over Ronaldinho. Right? Like I said, again, to me,
You know why? You know why? Here's my why for that one. Neymar had to carry a bad Brazil, and he won shit for Brazil carrying Brazil because he played on the worst Brazils ever. His striker was freaking Fred. Like, come on, like like imagine he had Ronaldo up top. Ronaldinho is amazing. I love Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho's right below what I just mentioned, but at the same time, he had Rivaldo. He played with Romario. He played with Adriano. Ronaldo. I don't think I said that already. Um, Roberto Carlos, Cafu. Like we're talking about the best. That was the best national team ever. So that's the only like, and I know in Barca, Messi was young, whatever, but he also that team was incredible. Like
Yeah, but before those guys got there, Ronaldinho was the one that revived Barca because they signed him, and on the night they signed him, they had to push the game back for him to play late, and he played and he scored a golazo just to win the game. So
I
that's what I mean. Like he
that
changed to
one's up
me.
in the
It's
air.
just yeah. To me,
He
he's just changed. He changed the game completely. There was players that naturally every player there's every generation has changed games, but the way he just played it so effortlessly and elegantly and that joga bonito that when
I think that's the hard
anytime
part.
you
Yeah,
hear it, you think about him. Like anytime
those
you think of
commercials. Yeah.
yeah, that's you can't think of those commercials without Ronaldinho. Even though they had, you had Henri, you had the greats Edgar Davids, Pavel Nedved, all these guys that that were greats. But to me, without Ronaldinho, there's he's the one that changed.
No, no, no.
And
I
then
probably maybe if we have this
so
conversation another day, I switch him and
right,
Ronaldinho. I mean, and
yeah.
Neymar.
But
Like,
hey, like I mean, it's not to, but that's yeah. To me, that's my
I mean,
number one guy.
I don't
Cause
think either's wrong, right? Like,
no,
it's just
that's
I
the
think that's it's
preference.
the way I look at it. It's like
Yeah.
that's the other thing why Rooney to me is tough because he's been amazing for United.
I love
But
him.
then for
Yeah.
England, he's been good, but he's never
No
helped them.
English player for
Yeah.
England
Well, yeah.
except
Well, that's what I mean. In general, like it's hard. That conversation was really hard for me to watch because I love Rooney, and then for him to say that about
yeah, I don't
Neymar was a
agree
little
with what he
odd. That
said.
was really
Yeah,
strange. So,
I don't know. Yeah, Rooney likes to sometimes,
well,
make it
all
a
those
little
guys in
more.
United apparently like talk
Well,
shit.
yeah,
This is just the new
yeah, yeah,
age thing, but
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I love Rooney, and I rate him my favorite English striker all time, and even one of my definitely top three favorite strikers of all time, Ronaldo number one. Um, but he's definitely up there because of what he
It
did
was funny. He
and
wasn't
how
even
he
a
did.
striker. That's the other thing. Like, right? He has so many goals, and he's not even. It's crazy. Anyway, we got off subject way too much. We
But
went way
yes,
over. But thank you guys. Please, in the comments, if you guys are watching, if you guys wind up coming across this, give us your top five. Let us know what you think. Feel free to tell us what you think about ours. It's okay if you don't like it. I understand. We are a little long in the tooth. We're a little older, so we kind of did get to watch some of that. We got to watch Ronaldinho live, which is great. So thank you guys for listening in. If you're listening, happy USA Day tomorrow. Hopefully they can get a win over Belgium. We have
yeah, those qualifiers. Don't forget about those
yeah,
European
yes,
qualifiers
we
because
got to
these
go watch them
ones are
today as
important,
well.
man.
Yeah. So we're gonna go watch the rest of that. We'll kind of keep up for the next episode. We'll talk about all the international break games. But yes, thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your night, guys. Enjoy the football. It is an amazing experience. See you later, Will.
Yeah, see you. Have a good one, guys.